All right, all right, all right. Really, I I guess we're doing Twitter Spaces from now on, which I think is totally fine. That's great. Happy to have it. Uh, I'm sorry this sounds a little rushed. We are knee deep in out extracurricular activities for the project, and so uh, our agenda is not well rehearsed this week. We're going to kind of improv it,
Yep.
but we have lots of updates to share. It's just we were actually right before this on calls trying to solidify some really cool stuff. So sorry if I'm a little distracted today, but I will try to calm down and figure it all out. Um, it's been a fun week, and this week actually is mostly about our growth of the team and what that is going to mean for the Dino Babies in Space NFT project and show. So what we've spent the last week doing is really nailing down and future proofing this project so that we can keep maintaining our explosive growth. So not many more updates from last week's NFT updates about pirates. I'm happy to refresh all of that. But the big news this week is going to be what we've done in terms of personnel and HR work. Uh, Again, for everyone new joining, my name is Alabaster Jefferson. I am our local strategy guy, NFT nerd, um, MC a little bit, but I am trying to operate our tech side and our strategy for how we grow. And I'm really excited to talk about that. Joining me today is Camillo and Matt. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hey guys, I'm Matt. I'm the artist and creator of the IP for the project. Been working in animation for a long time and really excited you guys are all here today.
I'm Camilo. I run, along with AJ, some of the operations on the project, mainly the partnerships and the marketing side, um, and yeah, some relationships with other communities. And yeah, I'm also happy to have everyone in here. I just a quick message there. I linked the three winners for the pirate contest, so they're linked here on the AMA. So in case you didn't know, I mean, I just linked them in there so you guys could see them. We can talk about those later on in the call.
Yeah, and great job. It was a lot of actually really cool work submitted. We are always excited to see the artist community that we're developing within Dino Babies in Space.
So many good pieces got
Yeah,
submitted. It was really hard to choose the winners this
it's
time.
a we will do more art contests, but it's an impressive amount of talent we have in the pool. We're gonna do way more art contests because uh, putting it down to just three was a real challenge. And I think next time we should do something more like categories, so we're able to really help spread diversity among our selections and have more opportunity. But it was great. I hope we can do. I will make sure we do more art contests in the future. That's awesome. Um, but I want to prioritize the most interesting news first because people you're tuning in on another Sunday, missing dinner. So let's get off the bat with our biggest news, and that is in the physical realm. Matt, what has happened this week with the show?
So, the big news that I think is we are working on writing the pilot, which is separate from pitching, but still an important element and something that we want to have as in good of a place as we can possibly have as soon as possible. So we've been reaching out to writers and just all kinds of creative people, and we have officially asked one of the writers of BoJack Horseman to come help us write the pilot. And we're going to be having more talks with them this coming week, either Monday or Tuesday. It's happening really quick. So that was a huge step forward for us and our project.
It's really cool, and
Yeah.
for many people out there who don't know BoJack Horseman, it is Netflix's crowning animation achievement. Pretty
Yep.
much, if you worked on BoJack Horseman, you are solidified in streaming category as, well, one, a very funny person, but beyond that, a
Yep.
person who uh, broke Netflix's whole world of being only live action. So it's huge that they were interested in our show from the start. Beyond that, we're willing to jump from their projects to help talk about ours, and has interest in that. It shows that the idea is solid, the community is great, and we're attracting really top tier talent. And I'm so excited that they were interested in talking to us and so eager over the last couple of weeks to really move fast in this whole offer process.
Yeah. Pretty crazy how short the timeline from us reaching out, meeting them, pitch. I didn't even really have to pitch them. We sent them a couple documents and told them about the project, and they were like, "Yeah, how can I help?"
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And then beyond that, I'll refresh what that means for the show. Every time you can bring in a rock solid member of the team early and you have them committed to building the show, it makes your show much more attractive as a complete package for the studios that may buy it, because they don't have to then find writers. They don't have to then find showrunners. They don't have to find those creative people. You already did the hard work for them. So it makes it that much easier to say yes. And so when we're
Yep.
walking into a pitch now with a bigger package of BoJack Horseman writer, a talented showrunner, Matt is creative director. We're walking in now with a lot of the major holes already filled. So it becomes less of a how are we going to staff this and much more of a, well, it's already here. How much does it cost? Which is the exact question we want studios to be asking.
Yep. And it's just like from their executive point of view, they're like, but will it be funny? And it's like, we've already written the script and we will make sure it's funny, like we have some of the funniest people who are writing for animation interested in helping us on our project. So they can read the first 10 pages and be like, this is, there's nothing to even think about. We're trying to remove as much of that as we can before we even walk in the door. So,
Huge, absolutely huge. And
Huge
yeah,
news,
yeah.
yes.
It's not it's it's not a sale update, but it's every step that gets us to those points. And we want to let you know
yep,
we're really trying on the back end here. And I promise you, once that person commits, they will have they will be on the next AMA, and we're going to start talking about what it means to be a writer for an animated series. And we'll start really bringing you into the inner workings of how a pilot gets made and how a script gets formulated. Because it's not just one person in a dark room writing. There's a lot more that goes on around it, and we're happy to keep you part of that. Uh,
yeah. And we'll hopefully feature them many times as much as you guys and they
oh
want.
yeah, for
Like,
sure,
yeah,
for sure. Uh,
And we should know about, I mean, the final talks hopefully by midweek.
I think
And
so.
we are hopeful to be able to make that announcement also midweek. We're not going to keep you guys waiting. Um, so we may even have a midweek spaces or Discord introduction call with this individual. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's what we're looking for.
for sure. And so that's one of our big HR news. The other is internal on the Dino Babies staff. We heard you. We've heard you for the last month talk about a need to have more outwardly facing communications. You want to see us really shining in the Twitter sphere. And so we have tapped deep and far and wide in our professional communities, and we found a person who not only loves NFTs but loves social media, and they will be taking over and running our Twitter account with the explicit goal of raising awareness of Dino Babies in space. So we have made another community marketing hire, and that's not going to have to come out of the DAO's budget. That is already allocated budget that we planned for. And we are making those goals to increase our entire staff size so all of us can focus on what we're great at and not doing everything at once. Camille, do you want to talk about more on that?
Yeah, so very excited. We were able to finalize the the hiring of this individual this afternoon. So it's like a last minute news for this AMA. I was confident it was going to happen. I wasn't just sure about the timing. So I think it's great to be able to um, you know officially say we have hired someone who's going to run our Twitter and raise the awareness of the Dino Babies project in the space. He is going to start officially working tomorrow. So I expect to have an introduction tomorrow as well in the Discord. And we may have a call sometime in midweek. There's a lot of strategy now that we need to go back and work on. So I want to allow this individual to take enough time to get the strategy going, and then from there we will have a call where we can make introductions, and then make sure that our community is familiar with this person, and yeah, I mean we're excited. I'm super happy for this. Couldn't be happier. I mean, these two new hires, I think they're strategically for the project, on one on the community side of NFTs and the other one on the physical realm. I think it's pretty good news for this week.
Huge news.
And yeah, and then I think, Matt, I mean, going back a little bit on what else happened this week on the project. I know we had the pitch for the movie, and maybe you want to. I mean, I know it's a short update, but
It's a short update, but ultimately I think it is really good just because. So basically, what happened, it was scheduled for last week. It is now pushed to this coming Tuesday. Um, initially frustrating, but it just gives me more time to reach out to more people, get more feedback, make the pitch that much stronger. Um, and it happened, and it is. So, I'm not going to pretend. I don't think like, oh, these things happen for a reason or anything like that. But every extra day we have to make our pitch and our Bible stronger and more solid and concrete, it's just that much better for us as a project. So on Tuesday, we're going in there and things are looking really, really good, and I'm feeling really confident about it.
It's great.
It should be
Yeah.
good.
Um, and and beyond that too, it gives us time to also have a demo pitch, right?
Say what now?
We can also throw a demo pitch on the calendar then.
Oh yeah, I might possibly tonight. We'll post on it in the Discord either tonight or
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I would love everyone to see how far our pitch has even grown from what was already called
Yeah,
pretty solid in early January. It's grown a lot and it's gotten much more technically detailed, which I think is a wonderful expansion to the program.
exactly. And like just for part of the practice pitches, like because I've been doing those with some people who work in the industry and they're just like friends who work on other shows, and my goal is simplify and get as much clarity as possible. So there's answer the executives' questions as soon as we possibly before they can even enter their heads. You know what I mean? So all these practice pitches are enormously valuable for me. So if you guys do tune in and you're like, I didn't quite catch that, or that idea doesn't quite connect, put it in the chat, send it to me, let me know, because that's enormously valuable.
Yeah, we would love all of your voice in this. And after we get past this initial secretive phase. Once things are inked or we're in deeper conversations, you're going to see much more. And we'd love to get your opinion of how you feel things are going and where things are coming from. I totally understand right now if you feel frustrated that we just keep saying, "Hey, we're talking to somebody. We have a we have a pitch with X company out there. Don't worry, they're big." We're really hoping that in the next month we're going to have way more available information that can be talked about. And once it's there, you're not going to be left out in the cold like you feel right now. It's just this project from the start was destined to move a bit slower than some other NFT projects just because of our physical components. But
Yeah.
once we are in this package state with a really cool pitch, things will start being way more obvious and you'll start to see all the work that goes into making a show happen. With that said, I see a couple of questions in our questions chat. I want to then bounce back to what we talked about last week regarding pirates and just re-clarify what's happening. Uh, One, Pirates is now targeting mid to late February. That means we are pushing it back at least a week, but conservatively, the 21st would be the soonest we're going to get Pirates out the door. That's a delay because of technical requirements, because we've added a few new features, and art requirements, which I'd love to talk about art right after technical. Uh, Technical requirements, uh, we hear you that while passively generating eggs was a wonderful part of Ziggy's inception, you want more in the play to earn game. And that makes total sense. So we are prioritizing staking Ziggy to add an additional uh, increase to eggs generated. We won't remove passive egg generation just because it makes so much, uh, it helps prevent gas costs, and that's a huge benefit to our let's call it newer friends to the Ethereum ecosystem. But for those who want to really engage, we are going to create a staking Ziggy component that will be a multiplier of the daily generation rate of Ziggy. And so we are prioritizing that technical component, which will require a new contract, and we will get that out very soon. On top of that, the Pirates Mint program is a little complex. And so the novelty of the claim variables are totally around, but the mint function, where we're going to offer both minting from eggs and minting from Ethereum, is a little complex because there's a potential risk where not all pirates are minted day one. How do you have a delayed reveal and then later on an instant reveal? How do you transition that program? Our development team has figured out a cool way of doing it. It just took a bit of time to figure out. So effectively, if all pirates are not minted day one from the egg claim, the egg buying section of the allocation, and you want to buy a pirate a week later, that pirate a week later will be instant revealed. But the initial day one mint will still have a delay in reveal for a couple days, as we do with most NFT projects. And so that novelty is a thing, is an outlier case we're paying attention to. The other part about this that I want to just be clear about is since we initially hoped for Pirates to be ready the beginning of February, and since then we've pushed Pirates nearly a month. And so because of that, our initial calculations for uh, how many eggs will be in circulation by time of Pirate has changed. And so we are currently assessing what is the best route to address that risk. One, and there's a couple of things out there, and we're going to take it to you, the viewer, in the next couple of days. But basically, do we want to raise pirate costs to account for the extended 3 weeks of potential egg generation? Do we want to limit the amount of transactions that you can do with eggs so that more holders of eggs can purchase pirates? Or do we want to possibly just let things fly by the way they are? All of those options are on the table. It just means we could have a day one sellout of pirates. We could increase the cost to reduce that pool size, or we could reduce the number of pirates purchased so that we can have less whale control of pirate allocation in terms of egg spending. All that is going to go to the community to decide. We don't want to decide for it, but we want to do all the math. And I have an Excel spreadsheet up right now. I'll share it tonight or tomorrow, so we're gonna understand where that's coming from. Um, Besides that,
And
yeah, go on.
and may I say one more thing
Please,
there,
please.
AJ? From my side of partnerships and marketing, I've been talking to a lot of people, and even though we said it was going to be, I mean, the idea was let's just make it all a holder of eggs or a holder of Ziggy mint, and then after that make it a public mint. Um, we are considering the option to get a small amount of whitelist mints that we can use for marketing purposes and to kind of also help us get the project name out there. There has been an influx of many new users in the community, NFT community, and I believe that if we are able to advertise through giveaways and stuff with specific communities, we can probably gain more followers, maybe more new investors that maybe are not even aware of our project. So I think that's one of the other ideas that are on the table, which again, we're going to make that a voting or part of the voting that it's going to be bring to the community, in a couple of days, as AJ mentioned.
Hold on, I am making a response in questions. A totally fair point.
Oh, you're typing?
I am
Okay,
typing.
I can hear you. So while AJ's typing, I'll talk about partnerships if you want to do that. Just a quick update. So if you've been in the Discord, I think every day we had giveaways for whitelist, or let's call it allow list. Um, and I, I think the team has been doing an amazing job at trying to get us all these collaborations with different projects. And we're still working on it every day. Um, so, you know, it's something that we are proud of right now because not every project out there is able to give this many whitelists or allow lists. And at the same time, we have our alpha channel, which I hear people complain that, hey, the general channel is slow, but I'm not sure if you've seen our alpha channel, but it's always going, constantly going. And you know, if you haven't even looked at it and you're listening and you're a holder, please take a look at it. I think you'll be surprised how powerful and how effective it is. And even if you're new to NFT space, I think you're going to learn a lot just by being in that channel. So, um, and along with that, I mean, Bloomy, he's been doing a great job with Alpha, with partnerships, collaborations. So, shout out to Bloomy. I don't think he's on right now. I think he's sleeping at this time, but hopefully he'll listen to this AMA tomorrow or sometime next week. So, AJ, you want to go to questions? Are you still typing?
Great. Yes, I'm happy to jump to questions. Um, for everyone who is interested in staking Ziggy, I'm going to reuse the proposal talk for bonus eggs for unlisted Ziggy because effectively, unlisted Ziggy bonus eggs is effectively the same idea as staking. It removes the unlisted Ziggy from the pool, and we want to bring in more game mechanics. So when I get a chance to type, I will finish my reproposal of this and we can start our discussion on snapshot process. I want to let everyone know that it is totally convenient to put through snapshot on this vote. The the technology to stake Ziggy is available and the contract will be deployable. If people do not like it, we do not have to do it, but we're going to use the same proposal talk channel to handle it. So that were the last 12 questions in the AMA room. So I want to jump again.
Well, if anybody has questions and you're listening, please raise your hands. If you want to just come in and say hi as well, raise your hand. Um,
Yeah.
We're here for you guys. So, and if you're shy and you don't want to raise your hands, you can type in the questions channel on our Discord. AJ will go through those and answer those as we do every week.
Yep. So until hands get raised, I'm going to talk about a few things that got raised in AMA chat. One is what I just mentioned. What was now that we know that we cannot get pirates out until the 21st at the earliest. There was a question of, now that we know more eggs will be generated, what should we do about emit with eggs allocation of pirates? I am not deciding that for the community. So we're going to present the options and we will let everyone vote. The only consideration is uh, voting with eggs gives a huge unfair bias to people who have eggs, who have a necessary, let's call it, um, conflict of interest on minting pirates. So what we're going to do is instead, well, we'll have to figure out how to make it less biased to how many eggs you hold in order to vote on how many eggs you want to buy with pirates. But this is an unforeseen consequence of delaying the project. So we're going to try to handle this as community driven as possible. Camilo is thinking about how he'll run a vote that mixes both our snapshot voting as we follow the DAO and our project functions that will give more of a balance to Ziggy holders. But we are working to figure that one out. We'll have that solved very soon. That's not a hard one to figure out.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, like we said, I mean, this we're gonna have the community decide. So, this is when I like to say, just make sure that when this goes, when we post, we say here's the options that we have. You just participate. Uh, so from a week later, you realize I don't like that idea. Well, you should have said something before. You should have voted. Um, there's a lot of different things we can do. Um, we are thinking on what we believe are the best options for the project, for the community. But again, as an investor, as a holder, you may have your own idea. So please, the moment we drop those options there for you guys, it'll be really cool if you take 20 minutes of your time and say, well, how about this, or why don't we do this? And I mean, again, we can offer you guys too many options, but at the end of the day, is you guys are the ones that are going to make the decision. It's not going to be us. So we're just going to go with whatever you pick, and that's pretty much of what's going to drive the launch of pirates. So again, it's very important for everyone to participate, and this is mainly, I mean, this is going to be a holders only vote. It's not going to be anything that's going to be open to the non-holders. So if you are a holder and you're in Discord and you haven't verified, please make sure you're verified, because it's going to be one of the requirements. You need to be verified a holder to be able to participate in this activity. And this is going to happen in the next few days, I would say. Hopefully by Tuesday, right, AJ, we should be able to have something so we can give ourselves enough time to vote, and then from there talk to our developers to make sure that we go the right direction.
Yes, completely so. And I am inclined to believe a quadratic voting style where eggs and quantity of voters gives a stronger control to the populace. But that is, uh, we will bring this up and we'll have these addressed in a parliamentary fashion, no matter what we're going to do. So that's I I understand the confusion, the frustration. Uh, we will, I believe, we will reach a common belief. It's not just going to be should we or should we not put a wallet limit on buy with eggs. It's also on should the price change. It's also on should there be a transaction limit so you have to file multiple transactions. We're going to have multiple streams of understanding before having a final decision. So trust me, it's going to be as bureaucratic as we can make it as far as parliamentary procedure. The first part of this vote is just going to be which options are we leaning towards before finalizing if that should follow through the regular proposal process. Do not feel like we are undermining the DAO. It is still part of that. It is just following all the DAO voting methods that are available in Snapshot, and quadratic voting feels like it's the most balanced for Ziggy holders. Uh, with that one said, uh, yeah, there's there's a lot of confusion happening right now because of the way the way it was explained. Uh, for the people that are curious, this is not changing at all the whitelist allocation for what your Ziggy gets you. This is purely the allocation of what eggs can purchase for. So we'll be talking about that. And truly, if the group decides to do nothing, that's fine too. It's just understanding that at 28 eggs, with extra 3 weeks of wait time, uh, there will be more eggs potentially in circulation than will be a fair distribution. So if we think there's nothing to do, that's fine too. I just want to make sure that we are covering our bases and making sure that we are aware of the outlier risk on this. Truly, I'm not married to any idea, and I'm happy to discuss that in a special channel. But an interesting point was raised in the questions channel. Can we have an incubator channel to discuss new proposals before making proposal? I think that's a wonderful idea. And we will get that up, I hope, tonight so that people can talk about ideas before having them go to proposal, because proposals take a long time to write. I think that's a great concept, and it helps the community brainstorm together. So we will be rolling that out as well. I Beyond that, I want to then address other questions that happened earlier on our channel, which are also coming across of um, along the lines of just snapshots. And on those points, the snapshot for minting of pirates will take place a couple of days before mint date. So if you're wondering when to mint, it's in that time period. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time as talk, and of course that is as ineffective as all humans can do
it. um, you know, it's so the what I was thinking, we can have another Discord call with everyone who's interested to talk about the mint of pirates and hear their opinions. Maybe AJ, before we even start writing what we think is the suggestions should be, we can probably have a couple of calls because I know time zones, time differences, and all that stuff. So we can have some of those, even one tonight, maybe one tomorrow, sometime, just to get everyone's ideas. Um, One thing that while you go through the questions that I think we kind of forgot to mention as well, and I think it's important, and it goes back to the resources and the team itself. So um, and we mentioned this yesterday on the spaces we did with Matt when we were picking the winners of the contest. One of the ideas that came up, AJ and I talking, and also Matt, was how many artists do we have in our community that we don't even know about. I mean, initially when we did Dino Babies, we had the art contest and stuff, and it was great. The turnaround was amazing, but right now we were not sure like who was still there, and it's actually, you know, the contest gave us an idea of, you know, who is there, um, and the possibility to maybe work with some of these individuals and creating marketing material for the project. So, for example, you know, right now we're going to be creating some images that we're going to post on Twitter, and we can even use the help of some of those individuals that won the contest. I personally reached out to them, and we're going to be creating a special channel so we can talk about it and see how they can help. Because at the end of the day, I mean, Matt is pretty busy. You know, he's doing the NFT, he's working on the pitches, and you know, if we can offer him some help from the community, it would be a great you know, help for him and for us as well. So that's happening as well. And then along with that, we are also bringing, I believe, what I'm going to call a junior artist, and we're also going to make some intros on that this week, hopefully. So AJ, you can go back to the questions if
Sure,
you.
sure. Um, I believe we should uh, we should make a better write-up about what we are discussing today. I am not saying we'll change anything. I just want to say we are presenting options to the community about what to do because of our delay. It's an outlier point was made because we redid the math now that we've delayed a couple of weeks, and we recognize that there is an opportunity here that does not align with our initial strategy of mint with eggs. We can go with the punches. We can change some of the rules behind pirate minting. It doesn't actually impact, it doesn't change anything about the way we're going to go about this or conduct this. I just want the community to be able to vote on it. And the way we're going to go about that voting is going to be community led in the same way as always. It's just the voting mechanic here is going to focus on a mix of popular vote and egg quantity. It's called the quadratic voting style. It's an option that exists in Snapshot for reasons when a true whale accumulation vote does have a conflict of interest in the outcome. Um, Very common in lots of parliamentary procedures. It's explicitly common in mass voting parliaments like Germany. Um, just want to cover that part. The other questions that are coming up are about proposals and questioning about, there hasn't been much in Snapshot in the last week. Why is that? Um, we actually haven't gotten many proposals recently that didn't reflect things already in motion. So in the last couple of weeks, we have received 4 proposals, and 2 of them were already features we were discussing. One was a proposal on staking ziggies, which we thought we will pursue with engineering to understand if we can include in game mechanics, and we have, so that will be discussed. And the other is hiring a voice actor who we would love to hire, but having that in a proposal makes it very hard to uh, not bias our search, especially because it's going to require showrunner approval to handle. Um, as we get proposals, we definitely push them through if they don't already conflict with things we're doing. It is not filtering, it is not biasing, it is purely we want to make sure that we can accomplish the things that are being proposed before proposing them. Otherwise, we're voting on superfluous actions. Um, so those are the 2 major things that are being discussed right now in our questions channel.
can I
Yeah,
can I let me just jump in here for a minute, because I think um, let me just answer. I think we need to explain this, so especially our bigger holders understand what, you know, what this means. When we initially did um, the numbers of 28 eggs, it's because it was going to be roughly 30 days for us to launch. So it was going to be enough for everyone to purchase a pirate with eggs. That was the whole idea of 28. Because we've delayed for so long, 28 eggs now, um, it allows a lot more pirates to be purchased. So when we say we're going to have 3,888 or 3,388 pirates that you can buy with eggs, what's going to happen is it's going to create a gas war for everybody. And while it may be okay, the problem is there's going to be a lot more opportunity um, for creating a gas war than I think. And again, this is a conversation that AJ and I had. We may not even have to go that far to create a gas war if we just say, hey guys, this is the issue. We want to propose a change if you guys want a change, but if you don't want it, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a change. Um, this is just something that we are bringing up, an issue that we see that then later on we don't want to say, oh, well, how come I did not, or I was not able to mint a pirate with my eggs if you guys said it was going to be available? And that's the whole thing. There's going to be more eggs in circulation than what you could buy with that more people can buy, and then there's not going to be enough quantity. So that's the main issue is the amount of eggs versus how much quantity it is. The math does not, I mean, the math doesn't lie.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying. We're saying is, look, we may have an issue here. Let's talk about the issue and let's see if we can find a solution, or if everybody's okay, then we're okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to change anything.
This is not,
that's what we're
yeah,
saying.
This is us trying to be transparent about what we realize has changed as soon as we realize things have changed. We are not doing this call or this announcement to say, hey, we are changing the rules on this, because it doesn't benefit us in any way to just change the rules. I would hate it, because I've also, in the same vein of what I've preached, I've explained multiple times over that our math is suggesting that we will be able to have not only everyone be able to buy some pirates with eggs, but there'll be leftover pirates with eggs. And now that is no longer going to happen at the current rate we are at. So I want to present that, because the risk of having people also come to us after mint and say, you lied to me, I was expecting to buy X number of pirates and you weren't able to, is just as problematic as having us discuss it now. So what I'm trying to present is a way that we can have a parliamentary style discussion that still reflects the project, and we can solve that problem now before it becomes unable to be solved. So what we're going to probably do, and the way this will probably be structured in the most fair way, is we'll have a thread on should we even make a change to the initial rules. And if we vote yes to change, then we'll do a ranked choice vote on the change we want to make. So that gives two opportunities to vote down those changes. And that will give us enough opportunity to still have total control and total opportunity size through the same way we do all other proposals. First is a preliminary proposal or a pre-proposal done through our regular voting process, which is done by one vote per Ziggy holder. Then the second vote goes into Snapshot under a methodology that allows egg holders to have the final say in the vote. And at that point, we'll go through two rounds. The only part about this is because our regular Snapshot process is a week long, we cannot run a 2-week long voting process to figure it out. So our final vote, if yes passes, will be on ranked choice voting. That is the only that is the only change we're making to this process. I understand that that is hard to verbalize, so I will write it out and we will follow it to a T. It does not change any part of our DAO voting process. It just is presenting the opportunity so we can cover it in case of a potential difference in perceived understanding.
Yeah, I think there's a confusion on and maybe a misunderstanding on what we're trying to explain versus what people are perceiving we're trying to do. Nothing on the DAO is changing. The way we vote on Snapchat is always being the same. It's not going to change. I mean, those things are set. All we're saying is we have an issue, and because we want to make sure we bring this issue to you guys before we go to mint, because we don't want it to be another issue after we mint and we say, oh, we knew but we didn't say anything. I think it's fair for us to say it. and let everybody join in, if even if they want to join in and talk about it. I mean, if nobody wants to say anything, it's okay. I mean, if nobody wants to comment but certain amount of people, then that's fine. I mean, maybe it not be such a big deal, but we feel the necessity of bringing this up because at the end of the day, we are here for the community. And whether we like it or not, I think part of our job here in our responsibility is to make sure that we tell things how they are. I mean, we're not making things up, we're just being transparent. And to me, transparency is better than anything. So again, we're not wanting to change anything, we're just saying here's the issue. How do you guys want to go about it? How do we make the decision? We'll determine that as well, with everybody's opinion, and we'll go from there. I mean, I don't see it as a big deal. I think it, it's better to say it now than just not say anything and then have other people complaining later on. So uh, I'm sure we're gonna find um, a solution to this. So I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't worry, even if you're a top holder, or if you only have one Ziggy. I wouldn't worry about it. I think it'll be fine. It's just a matter of us being clear of as to how we want to proceed with this going forward. And I'm more than willing to, um, after this AMA, jump on a Discord call with you know some of the members and the holders, and we can all talk about it. We can talk. We can maybe come up with ideas all together, and we can then from there present something to the community and say, here are some ideas. Let's all talk about it in a further discussions. So it's not a huge thing, and I don't I think we're maybe overreacting over something that is not a big deal.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in really quick. Like, I know it sounds more confusing, but basically, like, our initial numbers were based on we were only going to do one pirate. And as season two became more ambitious and more unique in the NFT space, we're hitting a small road bump, but it's nothing that's really going to drastically change anything. It's just the egg minting phase is going to happen a little faster. And that's only if we do nothing, which isn't, it's not even, it barely changes anything. So we're just trying to get ahead of this and make sure everyone is on the same page. And if anyone has better ideas, we address all of them and we'll see what the next step is.
So we have one request here. So let me add Kale real quick. Uh, Kale is connecting, and yeah, if you want to come in and talk about it, let's talk about it too in here in the spaces. Kale, you're up. You can I think you can speak if you want to ask your question.
Sorry, I get kind of I forget what I'm gonna ask every single time. There's always that like switch from listening to speaking, and then I forget.
The same thing happened last week, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I gotta get used to it. But I will turn my mic off, and when I think of it, I'll jump in when I can.
Okay, yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Anybody else, if you want to come up, ask your questions, or if there's any more questions on the channel. Um, I don't see more questions. AJ, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I I I am currently just putting together a proposal because of this. Really, we are still pumping along on every part that we promised in our roadmap, while accommodating the stake SIGGIs as well, and make sure that we can still deliver the changes that are being requested by the community. At no part have we lost track of the community, and I feel that this was the language used today was possibly could have been crafted better. And that is, of course, I warned walking in that, hey, I'm going to improv it, and this is what the result is. So let me craft the explainer again of what we're going to do and how we're going to go about it. It's not going to change anyone's opinion. It's not going to change any way we go about this normally. It's following the same pre-proposal to preliminary procedures as always. And beyond that, I don't want to lose track of why we're all here. It's for Dino Babies in Space TV show, and we've made enormous strides in that. And we should not lose track of the fact that we've brought on some really talented and really great people in the animation space who have deep connections across the industry and a huge amount of experience. And so this show is all steam ahead, full steam ahead, and we're still getting there. But I understand people's immediate concern about phase two, and I can promise you that this is probably overstated in terms of what the concern is. And I wanted to get the information out there instead of blindsiding someone, and that is probably a reaction that we should have been more prepared for. So let's address it. This will be definitely solved before Tuesday, but I'm working to present some information as we have it right now. If there,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll share all that
yeah,
on Discord. We'll share
yeah,
all that info. Kale, if did you remember?
Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
really. Yeah, it wasn't really a question. It was just I really like the idea. Obviously, when the proposal comes or whatnot, I will vote. But I really like the idea of advertising some whitelist. So I wouldn't really want all of them to sell out right away. Obviously, who doesn't want to sell it? That's awesome. But I feel like the meta right now and thing that gets people really hyped up is like little whitelists on Twitter. I don't know why, but they go crazy. And I feel
yeah,
like I remember Kosher Plug like used to like I kind of got my info of Dino Babies a long time ago from Kosher. So I don't know. You never know. Like Kosher could maybe he's doing a
yeah.
new NFT and stuff.
Kosher is a good friend of ours. We
Cool,
talk.
awesome. Yeah, they
Yeah,
started a new.
yeah, they have a new project that's coming out.
Yeah.
It's actually minting right now, I believe. It's been
Oh
minting
geez.
for a couple of days now. But
Oh,
yeah, we have good relationships, and not just with influencers, but also with projects, and we'll definitely be using those connections to kind of get the project out there, and give those collaborations with Ylist and stuff, which I think it's a good idea. So I wanted to bring that besides the other question about how do we go about the pirates and how many pirates and all this. But besides that, I mean, I wanted to kind of request from the community a small amount of wireless, which I think it makes sense. And again, we're going to put it for vote, and then we'll let everybody decide. But yeah, that that is that is a request that's coming. Besides of how we determine how the minting is going to go, it's going to be separate from that whole proposal or that whole discussion. But yeah, that's coming. I'm going to post about it, and yeah, we have Pancho here, so let's get Pancho on. I like it when everybody starts requesting, because having speakers is good. Um,
yeah,
we've been doing spaces for a while, and it, it's it's good to see you guys come up and ask your questions. So Pancho, what can we help you with?
Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everyone
Hi.
is having a great evening. Yeah, I just have a question regarding the pool liquidity. I know the initial proposal that won mentioned that we would get one set up as a community when we were close to signing a contract. But I was just wondering, what are your thoughts about maybe creating one closer to the Pirates window release, just to get
yeah,
a momentum, just to get some momentum
sure,
uh, for the project, and also gives people a chance to, sometimes people can't afford Ziggy's, but potentially give them a option to potentially buy eggs and Uniswap or
yeah,
sushi, whatever.
yeah.
So
That was actually one of the options in that vote, because of the opportunity to allow people to enter without owning a Ziggy, was to buy eggs and just be able to buy your own pirate. We we totally consider that one. And the basic thing is, if you think conditions have changed or you believe the market is different, repropose it. We can totally
Yeah.
we can totally rego we can go through that vote again. Making a pool is not, honestly, it's not engineering intensive at all. So we could go through that revote probably this week if that's of user interest. We'd have to go through the regular
I would.
procedure again.
What I would, I mean, AJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but can we revive the thread on that same Discord channel, or
Yes.
should we make a new proposal?
If if there's enough, it, it's a situation that I didn't think would happen immediately. We can totally just revive the thread and start competition again. Um, it'd be pretty buried in the pool channel because the original liquidity pool channel was actually, we didn't have the thread voting yet. So what I would like to do is make a new channel
We'll make a new channel.
about
Okay.
it. But I want to do it as long as someone actually proposes it instead of just saying, AJ, you propose it and do it again.
Yeah. So Pancho, why don't we do this? Why don't you um send me a DM, add me as a friend, DM me, and then you and I can work on putting that together.
The big thing
That way we don't lose track on it.
the big thing that we need to be clear about is what has changed that would make it different than the last time we voted. As this would be the first time we are reproposing an already voted on uh, snapshot, we need to explain why it's different this time around. And just to be clear, that was voted on right around the 13th of January. So it's been
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks. So we need to be
Yeah.
clear if we do want to do that vote again, why it's different now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll work with Pancho
Okay.
in getting that, uh, and then through the right methods, and then we can open the discussion and then let the community, make the decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works for me. And like I said, just overall, I think it would be like a boost for the project. Um, just just my personal opinion, but we'll definitely see what would definitely would like to hear what the community thinks.
Sure.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, no
thank you very
problem.
much.
Squishy, you're up. I think you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself. There
Can you
go.
guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. So I was thinking, because I was hearing with us pushing back pirates and everything like that, and I mean, I know we're opening a discussion for it, but I had another idea. Because you guys said that we're gonna have like the initial mint, and then like we're gonna have reveal, and then any like remaining supply can still be minted in instant reveal, correct?
Correct.
So could we set up like a whitelist for like do a snapshot of all the wallets and do like a whitelist for eggs only and get like limit how many like two like Ziggy mints per wallet with eggs up until the reveal date, and then after that it's like fair game for everybody?
So what I'm hearing, I'll say that back, is a total transaction limit on the egg allocations pool until mint date's over. So for 1 day, and then an unlimited point after. Is that correct?
Yes, and then having a whitelist for all current Ziggy holders with eggs, so that way they are dedicated time to go in and mint with their eggs,
Sure.
and that way, and then like, and that whitelist is good up until reveal. So if reveal is 24 hours after, then yeah, once reveal is done, then anyone can go in and mint whatever after.
Sure. So that is entirely, that's an option. That is a completely reasonable option. And if we want to include some sort of hybrid model, I don't see why we couldn't have that in the vote. The way I want us to do the vote is, one, asking if we should do anything at all, and then have a laundry list of potential options that we can do. And I like the hybrid answer. I think that is a potential compromise if people feel that we should have a transaction limit. Um, I appreciate you volunteering that one. Just just so we understand the math, there are currently 1.8 thousand Ziggy holders, and so we would be looking at with a 2x pretty much. Then every person could get a chance to mint two pirates if we want to do the egg-based minting one. Of course, that does. There are people who have multiple Ziggies that were holding Ziggies to buy many pirates. So there's going to be some pushback on both sides for that type of argument. But I totally appreciate you volunteering that answer, and I do hope that when we open the thread about this, that you weigh in on it. It's a really progressive solution you're throwing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm more than happy to. And I'm also, the day just kind of got away from me, but I'm also probably going to rewrite that the other proposal that we had
Sure.
Later tonight through tomorrow, probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get out tonight if I can.
And for people who don't know the context there, Squishy is referencing the proposal that we start an artist grant program that helps people get into animated art through the DAO's funding. And it got voted into Please Rewrite as the majority vote in pre-proposal. So this is our first rewrite proposal, um, and that's what Squishy was mentioning. I personally believe that I'm really happy that rewrite feature is a good part of our voting process. So we understand that ideas have legs, but just aren't fully fleshed out. But thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy to have you involved in the community. And for anyone listening also who isn't following what's happening there, our proposal process, the first step of it is a yes, no, or rewrite by popular decision in Discord. And we use that methodology so that we have an initial popular vote to see if it should continue, which mirrors the US House of Representatives or the British parliamentary procedure. And we use that methodology first before going to egg voting, which is more like the US Senate. And we designed that voting methodology so that both small holders and large holders are accounted for in a multi-step process. But yeah, Squishy, thank you. Anything else we could? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Squeegee.
No, I'm good. That was it. Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. There was a last question here from Scotty about the plushies. And I think maybe Matt, I know we talked about that a couple days ago. If you want to give us an update.
Yeah, they're proceeding. We don't have huge updates from last week, but in case anyone who wasn't here, we are rapidly getting those done. And I think they have projected hopefully a May release, maybe late April, maybe May. But I sent them basically a pretty extensive breakdown of what I want the plushie to be. And I kind of qualified it like, let me know if this is completely impossible. And they were like, no, this is totally possible at a pretty reasonable price point. So earlier this week, I sent them the turnaround, like the Ziggy drawing from every different angle, so they can get started on it. And yeah, we are well on the way to making that a reality.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Matt.
Yeah.
We can't wait to share with you guys what they would look like. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm waiting too. Like I told
Right.
Matt, I mean my daughter would love to have one of those plushies. So
The great thing about stuff like this is, at least as far as I know, it's not super NDA or secretive or anything, so we can be much more forthcoming
Yeah.
with details as they come in.
This is we're this is our own merch, so we're
we're
fine.
paying for it, so yeah. We're gonna absolutely share it with you every step of the way because it is super exciting for us. So yeah.
It's if anybody has more questions, raise your hands. If not, I mean we're right over the hour mark, so I don't want to take this longer. I know we want to go back with on writing some of these proposals, making some channels on the Discord, so we can all talk about this. Um, yeah, I mean, for my side, I'd like to thank everyone for joining today's AMA, and we are expecting to have some good updates midweek as far as the new hires, and yeah, we also plan to have I think, an interesting conversation regarding the mint of pirates. It's always good when everybody gets involved and engaged and talking and giving their opinions.
This,
So I'm happy for that.
Yeah, the fact that there is a response tells us you care and you're paying attention, and that's great. I'm happy we have a discourse. I'm happy we have a method to discuss and civilly handle it. Uh, I'm excited to talk about this because this is why we are a community. So I do not view this as a negative situation that we have people on both sides of the field. I want to see where this comes up next, and I believe we can have an answer very soon. But yeah, thank you everyone. This is an interesting hour. We will have a lot to push out tonight to talk about. I do not believe this is going to greatly change anything about the project's trajectory, and I believe really the fact that we're bringing it up at all, there's a high chance that people just will say it doesn't matter and we can go forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say, and by all means, this is why we do these weekly talks in order to keep you informed and abreast of how the project is going. So thank you again. I'll give the last word again to Matt and Camilla, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate because, especially because when they first told me, I was a little confused at first, and I think it sounds much more confusing than it actually is. And yeah, we just wanted to bring it up with you guys and make sure everyone's on board with the direction we do decide on going. But overall, other than that, everything's full steam ahead. I know some of you guys were on my stream. It was either Thursday or Friday. I showed off a lot of pirate sneak peeks, probably too many. But people seem definitely into that. I'll probably do another one of those, depending what day we decide on the pitch, practice pitch being. I'll do one either the night before or the night after that. But yeah, things are going really well. It's super exciting. I hope everybody's still excited.
I mean, and to close this, just a reminder: this week we're gonna go and pitch a movie. So
Yeah,
I mean, can't get any more exciting than that.
seriously.
Besides all the stuff that's going on, I mean, let's not forget there's a huge thing coming up this week. So with the movie. So again, everyone, thank you, and talk to you guys soon. I expect to be on Discord voice. For this couple of days, talking to everyone and trying to